Coming up this week on Ride the Lightning, the Tesla Motors unofficial podcast, Tesla has one heck of a plan to turn kids into Tesla fans while they're still young. Summon gets a few more useful new features and much more. Rev it on! You're welcome for the worst Robert Plant impression in the history of recorded time. My name is Ryan McCaffrey. Welcome to Ride the Lightning. It's the Tesla Motors unofficial podcast, episode number 29 for February 21st, 2016. The countdown to the Model 3 reveal is on. Probably going to be a little bit of a shorter show this week. I guess you already know the answer to that by looking at how long it is. I'll find out as I sit here and record it. You know, things have calmed down after a very crazy couple of weeks, but it's just going to build over the next 6 weeks. We got 6 weeks until we see that Model 3 and the reservation frenzy begins, which I fully intend to be a part of. Quick funny thing before I started, just random Tesla thing that happened to me this week. I tweeted this out, but if you didn't catch it, I was at Target and I remembered, I need some belt dressing for a squeaky belt in my 10-year-old Infiniti. And I was like, okay, yeah, there's an auto section, automotive section in Target. And I think, they might not have this, but it's worth a look while I'm here anyway. So I go over, I'm looking, and then I see a familiar looking car on the front of one of the labels of one of the products. And it is a Turtle Wax brand spray detailer called Ice. Big capital letters, I-C-E, Ice. And the funny thing, of course, is what car was on the front of this Turtle Wax detailer called Ice? A Model S. Of course, it's got no Tesla badging, but you can see enough of the car to know that they took a picture of a Model S and just, cropped it and took off any branding. So it's hilariously ironic that Turtle Wax is selling a brand of a spray detailer with a Model S on it called Ice. I just thought that was funny. That made me laugh this week, and so I wonder if anyone at Turtle Wax realizes it or if it's just a really, really extra funny coincidence, because neither one would surprise me. I could see if it was some sort of inside joke, maybe some Tesla fan that works in the brand design, the sort of marketing arm of Turtle Wax, or if it was they just had no idea and it's a random coincidence, which would only make it funnier. Before I get to the news this week, you may have heard, I guess here's a little bit of pre-news, but you may have heard about the new referral program. It's Referral Program 3.0 that Tesla is running for those of you who are Tesla owners. This time, though, there is a hard cap. You get 3 referrals per person, and you don't get anything yourself, except the chance to win a fully loaded ludicrous Model X, as well as a SpaceX tour. And then the runner-up prize are 5 private tours, including travel and accommodations of SpaceX, which of course is not open to the public. It is a private building. The person you are referring gets a $1,200, not a discount on their car like they did last time, but instead a credit towards the installation of charging equipment. So $1,200 should pretty well cover your costs, I think, in most situations to get you hooked up with a charging solution. For me, I ended up, again, I don't even have the Tesla yet, but back when I knew I was going to be reviewing it for IGN and I knew I'd set that up with Tesla PR, I said, well, I know I'm going to buy a Tesla eventually. That Model 3 is out there on the horizon. I went ahead and had a 1450 outlet, a NEMA outlet put into my garage, a 50 amp circuit. Or I guess it's a 50 amp circuit put into my garage. And I found a good reputable electrician. It only cost me $300. So I know some people, of course, but mine was right next to a breaker box. You might have to go longer. Anyway, $1,200 credit is the referral this time. and you get a chance to win a fully loaded Ludicrous Model X. Now, one of my fans of this podcast, a listener, he's from Denmark. His name, Peter, I apologize if I'm about to destroy your last name. I'm going to do my best, sir. Peter Kjærsgaard. He is from Denmark. He says he's listened to every episode of this podcast. Super nice guy, as Maggie the Boxer drinks in the background. Just incredibly nice guy. We've had a few email exchanges. He has offered, in order to, because he understands my just passion and enthusiasm for Tesla, and he wants to see me have the Tesla dream come true as much as anyone. Peter has offered, seemingly sincerely, he has offered the Model X to me if he wins it, if you use his referral code. So maybe this is just some horrible ploy to get to plug his referral code, but I don't think so. Peter seems like a nice guy, and you know what? I mean, he doesn't actually get anything unless he wins the X, but you know what? I'm gonna give his referral code out, and we're gonna operate on the trust that, Peter, you are going to give me that Model X as promised if you win. I'm serious. This is actually Peter. I thought he was joking at first, but Peter was seemingly quite serious. So if you are a listener and you are intending to purchase a Model S or Model X, please use Peter's discount, his referral code, which will get you $1,200 off of a charging solution for your home. So it's going to be TS, the website is ts.la, this is a short link, this will take you right to the design studio, ts.la/Peter6387, that's Peter spelled the traditional way, Peter. So it's ts.la/Peter6387. Go ahead and get yourself a Model S or a Model X, get yourself a discount, a credit towards a charging solution for your home, and you never know. Maybe, how crazy would that be if Peter's name is drawn and he actually does give me the car? That would be the craziest, most amazing story, certainly for me, and it would make Peter the literal nicest human being on the face of the planet. So, what the heck? Now, granted, I know I read through the referral page. It does say right on it, giveaways are non-transferable, but I'm sure Peter and I could work something out. Peter, just say you want factory delivery in California, then I'll pay for you to fly here. You can have some fun in San Francisco, and then I'll pay all the taxes on the car, and it won't be free, but it'll be a ridiculously amazing deal that I actually can afford. So there's the plan. Let's use Peter's credit, Peter's referral code, and cross your fingers that Peter's name is drawn for the fully loaded Ludicrous Model X, and that I can have a gull wing, or in this case, falcon wing door car back in my life and make my Tesla dream come true. So, want to offer me your Model X if you win? Or, more likely, do you have a question, comment, or discussion topic for the show? Would love to get some phone calls. Didn't have any enough good material worth playing this week. Dial me up. Leave a message anytime, 24/7 on the Ride the Lightning hotline with whatever you want to talk about. It's a toll-free call or a toll-free Skype. Same number either way, and that number is 1-888-989-8752. And with that, let's do the news. Quite the eclectic group of Tesla news this week. We're going to span the range. We're going to run the gamut here from a kid's toy car all the way to the Koch brothers trying to snuff out electric vehicles. We're going from the lightest of the light to the darkest of the dark here. Let's start with the radio flyer. If you may have heard about this week, this got picked up everywhere. I first saw it on the Tesla Motors Club forum, and it was sort of vaguely titled. The thread title, I forget what it was, something along the lines of, the Model 3 is a lot smaller than I thought. So I'm like, what is this? This is going to be some funny thing. I click on it, and it's a video on YouTube allegedly by Radio Flyer, the people that, have made the little red wagons for kids for decades. I certainly had one when I was a kid. And this video was for a Model S kids, an electric battery-powered little model, like a big, the old Power Wheels, like a kid's Model S that you'd sit in, and it had 2 speeds, 3 miles per hour or 6 miles per hour. It comes in 3 authentic Tesla colors: multi-coat red, midnight silver metallic, or deep blue metallic. Costs $500, has a working frunk, working headlights, a USB plug to plug in a music player, comes in 2 battery sizes, has a choice of the silver turbine or dark gray turbine wheels, and has an optional personalized license plate and an optional indoor car cover. I genuinely thought, I'm not going to joke here, I for sure thought this was a parody. I thought this was going to be a Saturday Night Live sketch about some sort of joke about how, I don't know, about how Model S is expensive or I don't know where, but I thought this is a goof because the tone of the video it feels like parody, but it's completely serious. Even the website, on Radio Flyer's website, is modeled to look like the design studio from Tesla's website, which is just that extra mile that I absolutely salute. Well done, Radio Flyer. I'm going to play you the audio from this so you can hear for yourself. Without even seeing it, you'll probably be like, yeah, that sounds kind of like a goof. So this is a real thing. They're taking pre-orders on it. It comes out in May. So yes, you can put your reservation down for a Model S for your kid. It's intended for ages 3 to 8. Again, $500 is the base price. This is hilarious. It's incredible. I would have died for this if I was a kid now. And certainly back when I that would be the equivalent back then, back when I was in the 3 to 8 range of, I guess Back to the Future came out when I was 5, but anyway, in that age range, that would have been like a giant, battery-powered DeLorean, little toy DeLorean that I could sit in and drive around, like with a working gull-wing door. I would flip out for this if I was a kid. Now, some of you may know if you've been listening for a while, I have a 4-year-old who does love Tesla, but our house in San Francisco, I think this thing would just be too much. San Francisco, we don't have too much of a backyard. It's a small chunk of land out back, and I don't think this is quite a fit for us. Not to mention, honestly, I'd rather put the $500 in a Model 3 fund for myself, but I probably will have to not show this to my daughter because she probably would want it. But this thing is hilarious. It's amazing. Listen to the audio from the YouTube video, which, by the way, has over 500,000 views on it as I record here. So take a listen to this real quick.
Introducing the Tesla Model S for kids, the first and only kids ride-on to use flight-speed lithium-ion technology. Created by Radio Flyer in collaboration with Tesla, the beautiful design features working headlights, turbine rims, and a premium paint finish with authentic Model S colors. The Model S for kids is powered by flight-speed lithium-ion technology to provide more playtime than any competitive product. Traditional lead-acid batteries need to charge overnight, but flight-speed lithium-ion batteries charge in as little as 3 hours for 3 times the play per day. Plug in your Model S for kids just like a full-size Tesla, or charge outside the car. Extend play by charging spare batteries while another is in use. Recreate the ultimate Tesla experience with a car cover designed to perfectly fit your Model S for kids. Control max speed with 2 settings, 3 miles per hour for beginners or 6 miles per hour for advanced drivers. The superior design and technology of the Model S for kids makes this the best kids ride. The long-lasting charge and the high-powered speed ensure hours of fun. Design your car with customizable features like a personalized license plate for a truly unique ride. Load up the frunk, plug your music player into the sound system, and you're ready to roll. The Tesla Model S for Kids by Radio Flyer. The exhilarating performance of a Tesla adapted for kids. Customize yours exclusively on radioflyer.com.
Is that not nuts? You absolutely need to go watch that on YouTube, because just watching it again for like the third time, I just noticed something I hadn't seen, I hadn't noticed before. The plug to charge the little battery packs is even shaped like the charger that comes with the car. They've gone to like every little detail. It's just unbelievable. The detail on this thing. But yeah, did that not sound like there should have been some Saturday Night Live just goof that you're just waiting for the punchline on that? But it is a real thing that is happening. It's hilarious and amazing, and I love it. Moving on, Tesla got the Tesla.com domain name back from a guy named Stu Grossman, a computer network engineer from California. Now, some years back, another Tesla Industries, a power conversion system company, had accused Mr. Grossman of cyber squatting on the domain name, which he has had since 1993, but didn't have any content on the site. Tesla Motors was able to snag it, and it is now theirs. They probably paid him off. I mean, that's typically how these things can go. So, it's impossible to know one way or the other. There's a good chance. However, all I'll say is, if you happen to know a Stu Grossman in California or come across him, and he starts driving around in a shiny new Model S or Model X in the next few months, you might know why. So look for, so Tesla.com already just redirects to TeslaMotors.com, but given the fact that the company, of course, has Tesla Energy, the Powerwall stuff, this gives them a little bit more freedom, and of course that precious Google SEO juice for just Googling Tesla or putting Tesla.com into a browser. So that's a good win for Tesla this week. Moving on, the new summon features have been rolled out yet again. It seems like every update now, every decent update, you owners are getting awesome new summon features in the latest firmware. I want to thank Mark Shea. I hope I'm pronouncing your last name correctly, Schey. He made a YouTube video detailing the new features. So you can now double-click the park button on the stalk in the car, get out, and it will put itself in your garage. So you pull in your driveway, tap on the stalk in park, and then just get out, close the door, and it will do the rest. Mark made a cool video of this, showing it off exactly, and it was super awesome. Also, you can customize the distance the car rolls back into the driveway when you summon it out of the garage from 40 feet on down. That the 40 feet is the max, but now you can tweak it so that it'll fit your driveway specifically. You can customize the front bumper distance that the car will stop in your garage. The closest is 8 inches, and it is the farthest back would be 40 inches. So presumably that's going to be more for the 8-inch, the folks that need to get really close if you have a really tight-fitting garage. Because, of course, the Model S and X are really, really big and long cars. And a safety thing that we knew they were going to add, and it is in here. The cool thing is this is optional. This is not a required, they didn't retcon this. This is now optional, is you can set summon so that it requires a continuous press and hold on the fob to summon the car. Because of course, the argument being, what if you're backing the car out of your driveway and maybe you get a phone call, you answer it, you accidentally drop your fob, the car just keeps rolling into the street. So you can now customize it so that you have to be holding the button down in order for the car to move if you want to do it that way. So summon getting better in a minor but relevant way here. This is good stuff. So I'll be curious to hear from you folks if how you are putting these new summon features to use. Finally, on this week's show, I don't want this podcast to be political. I want this podcast to be fun and just really be about our shared enthusiasm for what Tesla is doing, regardless of what your political leanings are. But I did want to mention this particular thing because Elon tweeted it out. The Koch brothers are allegedly backing, I'm going to qualify it, they're allegedly backing a new anti-EV campaign that will apparently begin attacking the EV industry very soon. Elon simply tweeted sigh with a link to this Huffington Post article, which I'm going to read you a quick selection from now. According to the Huffington Post, a new group that's being cobbled together with fossil fuel backing hopes to spend about $10 million per year to boost petroleum-based transportation fuels and attack government subsidies for electric vehicles, according to refining industry sources familiar with the plan. A Koch Industries board member and a veteran Washington energy lobbyist are working quietly to fund and launch the new advocacy outfit. Once launched, the new group is expected to use paid and earned media. By the way, as someone who works in media, the mere idea of paid media is absolutely horrifying to me. I could never in a million years imagine taking money to write about something and someone's specific agenda or point of view. That violates every rule of journalism to me. I went to journalism school. I have a journalism degree. That is like practically dry heave inducing to me. But anyway, to finish the quote here. Once launched, the new group is expected to use paid and earned media, by the way, earned media sounds just as bad, to push its pro-petroleum transportation messages and do research to bolster the cause. So again, I don't want to make this political, but here's all I want to say about this. It's unfortunate if this is true because Tesla is an American company creating tens of thousands of American jobs in California, in Nevada, and in Tesla stores and galleries and service centers all across the country. And they're building the best car in the world. But while this supposed anti-EV campaign will no doubt do some damage, most likely, if I had to guess, in the minds of those folks who just don't know much about EVs yet, right? The people that aren't following Tesla super closely, that have maybe, I'll bet a lot of you have friends, acquaintances, what have you, that still don't even know what Tesla. I'll bet, because I've read plenty of accounts on the Tesla Motors Club forum, certainly more of them closer to in the earlier days of the Model S, but Maggie, do you have to eat so loud over there? Anyway, I lost my train of thought, but I'm sure there are plenty of folks out there that are still like, Tesla? What's that? Is that, what? There are plenty of people that just aren't aware of Tesla yet, and this campaign, if it is indeed a real thing as it purports to be, that's probably who is going to be targeted and perhaps even most susceptible to this. But here's why I think that this campaign, no matter how much money they spend, will be swimming upstream on this. And that is as long as Tesla continues to make the best cars in the world. Because we all saw the naysayers do everything they could to try and put the Model S in the mud and drag its name through the mud and just deface it and defame it and just really reduce it to a joke and an embarrassment. Look at all the FUD after the 3 battery fires broke out, which of course, what did Elon Musk do? He fixed it once and for all with the multi-layer titanium shield over the battery pack. Anyway, as long, when the Model S first launched and you had rival automakers talking trash about Tesla. You had the North American Dealers Association trying to literally prevent Tesla from doing business state by state, etc. But the S was simply too good of a product. Too good of a product. The product wins. It's too good. People wanted it. And the naysayers could not stop the Model S. If Model 3 proves to be an equally world-class product in its segment, down in the 35,000, lower-end luxury segment, the BMW 3 Series, Audi A4, of course we all know who the Model 3 is going to be targeting. It's that crowd. If Tesla can make the Model 3 as good in that segment as the Model S is in its segment, then in my humble opinion, and yes, of course, I'm a Tesla enthusiast, but I believe that once again, the product will win out. That neither the Koch brothers nor anyone else will be able to stop it from succeeding. If the product is that good, people will go find a way to do it. I mean, look at what Tesla has done without Tesla hasn't spent a dime on advertising, not a dime on mainstream advertising. When they start doing that, that's going to be just an extra push for them that they currently don't even need. So, and the one other thing I would add about this, again, not to make it political, but purely about the cars, if there is anyone that could stand up to the Koch brothers and their, shall we say, their anti-EV friends, it's Elon Musk. I mean, this is a guy... Elon's not a guy I would want to go to battle with. Battle against, pardon me. He is not a guy I would want to challenge directly in a legal or scientific or really much of any other way. I mean, Elon's an extremely smart guy. He is also very wealthy himself. I feel like ultimately the product will speak for itself. If the 3 is no good, then that's going to set the entire EV movement back. It really will. There's that much riding on it. I mean, hopefully the Bolt is going to come out and be a good car. If Model 3 is going to be a much higher profile car, I think, whether fair or not, Chevy being an established automaker, but there is going to be more noise most likely around Model 3 because it has had effectively 10 years of hype behind it, starting from Elon's blog in 2006 when he first laid out the plan for this car. It didn't have a name back then. But, if Model 3 is a subpar vehicle, then the Koch brothers won't need to spend any money because the Tesla will be responsible themselves for the EV movement being set back. But I just think if the car is good, then all the money in the world and all the propaganda money in the world is not going to stop people from purchasing the Model 3 because word will spread just as it has with the S and it is about to with the X. So, ran the gamut there. And again, I hope that wasn't too... Again, if you're listening to this on Sunday morning, whenever you're listening to it, I don't want it to be a political thing because there are good things about both. Everybody's got good points of view. Everybody's got, nobody is all one thing or all another. So I hope that was a fair segment. I just wanted to keep it about the car. But in general, no politics are planned for this show because it's always going to make somebody angry. And I don't want this podcast to do that. I want it to be a fun, enthusiastic celebration of this car and this car company and what it is doing, the excitement it is bringing to the automotive industry. All right. With that done, that is the news for this week. I'm going to come right back, wrap up a couple things, and then I will hit the road. Be right back. I remind you that if you've got a question, comment, or discussion topic for the podcast, call up the Ride the Lightning hotline anytime, toll free at 1-888-989-8752. You can also Skype that if Skype is easier for you. And if you know someone special with an upcoming birthday, anniversary, graduation, or some other special occasion, you can give them a unique gift of recorded voices from friends and family telling them why they're special. The recordings can be podcasted or put onto a keepsake. Visit lifeonrecord.com to learn more. As for me, you can follow me on Twitter at DMC_Ryan. If it won't fit in 140 characters, you can always email me. The podcast email address is teslapodcast@gmail.com. I've been getting a lot of great emails from so many of you here as the show has sort of rolled on. We're almost up to 30 episodes already. It's awesome. If you're a video gamer, check me out at my day job at IGN.com. I've got my fingers in a lot of pies over there. My newest fun little endeavor is a Charlie Rose-style interview show with key figures in the video game industry called IGN Unfiltered. It is on IGN, it is on YouTube, and it is on iTunes as well. So however you'd like to consume it, it's all very serious, well, not like very serious, but you know, they're long-form interviews with some really notable people in the video game world. I have a really good time doing those. And again, I'm going to get some Tesla people on here eventually. I've actually just reached out to Tesla this past week to check in with them on a few things, including trying to see if there's any way that I can get this podcast added directly to your in-car Tesla experience under TuneIn. You can do it now. You got to jump through a hoop, though. If you go to the TuneIn website, and of course you need to be signed in, search for Tesla Podcast, you'll find it, follow it, and then the show will show up in your car if you go to My Favorites. Check out Dave T's weekly Tesla newsletter at teslaweekly.com. And finally, I would like to thank the wonderful folks at teslarati.com for listing this podcast on their pages. They've just added it. I want to thank Gene in particular. Gene, you're a kind person, and I appreciate you helping me to get the word out about this podcast to the Tesla community. It is sincerely appreciated. I thank you very much. To all of you, have a wonderful week of electric motoring. Enjoy your Teslas, and I will see you back here for a little mini milestone. Episode 30 is next week. I'll see you then.